Good morning, honorable members.
Morning, Chairperson.
Morning, Chairperson.
Are we well today?
No complaints.
When you started by saying no, I thought there was a problem. But I'm happy that there are no complaints. I think we should get straight into business. It is now 9:30. I want to first appreciate your presence here today. I know that the possibilities are that you could have had other engagements, but you had to reschedule them because we had to conclude the business with the South Durban-based community. Let me just confirm. Chilega, are we all here? Do you know? Or have you received any apologies?
Morning, Chair. Yes, we are. I think it's Honorable Winkler who hasn't joined. Yes, and Mamum Tunu.
Or you want me to? I don't want to go through each and every member. That might be time consuming. I see Honorable Mbata is here, Honorable Bryant is here, Honorable Singh is here, Honorable Dlamini is here, Honorable Weber is here, Honorable Kancho is here. I'm not too sure who I've not seen. Okay, I see two hands. Honorable Untitled Chapter. Honorable Untitled Chapter is here. Honorable Singh?
No, good morning, Chair, and good morning to everybody on the platform. I will be multitasking from 10 o'clock with the Chief Whips Forum and our meeting. So if you see me missing for a few moments, I'm there. Thank you.
Well noted, Honorable Singh. Thank you. Honorable Bryant?
Chair, just very quickly, I have messaged Honorable Winkler just to see if she is coming, was going to put in an apology. The message hasn't gone through, so she may be traveling, but as soon as I hear back from her, I'll let you know.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Honorable Bryant. But I guess we then have a necessary quorum. Can I check with the representatives of the South Durban community? Let's start with eThekwini. Is eThekwini here? Because they are expected to present today. Bavenda Baramini.
Oh, Chairperson, good morning to you. I'm here, Chairperson, and our head of the unit will be joining us shortly. I think she's calling in. Thank you, Chair.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm actually already in the radiography unit. I'm head of health, Rose van Heerden. Can you hear me?
Who is that?
Yeah, this is Rose van Heerden, head of health at eThekwini.
Oh, okay. Oh, the one we were just told she's going to join later. You're already here. Okay, welcome. Good morning to you.
Yeah. Good morning. I had sent a response through to the message I had received that I won't be joining the meeting because I've got some medical tests that I need to do, and it's starting at 10, so they may call me in at any time now. But Mr. Patu Rapalalani, our air quality officer, who is also the acting deputy head for pollution control, will do the presentation, and he will also take care of all the questions that may arise. Thank you. If I may be released.
You may. Thank you.
Thank you.
South Durban-based community, Bobby has had informed us yesterday that he won't be joining us. Is Mr. Mtembu here?
Greetings, Chair. Siyabonga kakhulu. Sikhona ba. Thank you.
All right, and we were on. Who is Desmond now?
Desmond, South Durban. But I just want to say that Yogeshni is joining us from groundwork. And I will be as well.
Okay. No, that's fine. On behalf of groundwork, so
Yogeshni is joining on behalf of groundwork, and I'm here as Setsi, the South Durban Community Environmental Alliance coordinator.
that's fine. The engine refinery.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. We are here.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Let's just go straight to it. This is a continuation of a meeting that I attended yesterday because we had to attend to Parliament. We were on the slide. Yes, South Durban Community Upliftment. Yes, we were here. If you can just proceed from here, I suspect you are left with about 1 or 2 slides. From there, we'll take eThekwini, and then we'll take engagements, and then we should be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good morning, honorable members and colleagues. Through our engine Maths and Science program, we are very proud of our Maths and Science program that has been around for many years. It has been a gateway for many young learners, and
recording in progress.
And we have achieved great results. For instance, last year we have several distinctions. You can see here we have Nosipo. Nosipo has about 7 distinctions, Kerisha about 7 distinctions, and Wendy as well. So our 2023 EMS matric class pass was 97%, and 83% of those got bachelor passes. And what we do, we take these students from Maths and Science, and we offer them bursaries into university. We have a number of our alumni who are now doctors, pharmacists, and so on and so forth. So that is not all that we are doing. We have several other community upliftment programs. Through our engine computer school, we have young people who are not working, or even adults who are not working, who go through the engine computer school. To date, we have just below 3,000 people who have graduated, and most of them have found employment after being able or after graduating from our computer school. We have also, in conclusion, Chair, I have indicated the significant reduction in terms of emissions from the refinery. We have seen significant reduction in terms of greenhouse gases with a positive contribution into South Africa's greenhouse gas mitigation. We have seen significant reduction in terms of the water use. We are compliant with the authorizations that we have. We consistently engage the authorities every step of the way when we are going to undertake an activity. This ensures that we are always compliant. We will be, as we progress, we're engaging in terms of whether there are variations required in terms of our authorizations. Our stakeholder engagement remains one of our biggest way of engaging with the community. We believe that it is through us, the community, and the authorities where we operate, co-creating the future to make sure that we all benefit in terms of the future. So I want to reiterate, Honorable Chair, to the NGOs and other groupings that are in Durban South who would want to join our joint committee, they are welcome to do that. We have had, this is not the first time we're extending the invitation, but we are really ready to work with the community groups so that we have a good benefits and sustainable Durban South. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Shelley. Honorable members, do we want us to engage this presentation first, or should we take the eThekwini presentation, eThekwini municipality?
Chair, I think eThekwini, and then we can engage collectively. That's my suggestion.
As a suggestion, honorable members from Honorable Singh, are we in agreement?
Agreement?
Yes, I agree.
Great. We are in sync with Honorable Singh.
Good
Patutsezo, Bavenda.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Can I do the projection from my side?
Yes, certainly. Chilega, can you organize with Patu?
Done, Chair.
There you are.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Allow me to firstly give you my introduction. My name is Patricia Rapara, Chairperson. I'm the Senior Manager Pollution Control. Currently, I'm acting Deputy Head Pollution and Control and Risk Management. By designation, Chairperson, I've been designated as the City Air Quality Officer of eThekwini, who is responsible of taking into consideration all air quality, pollution, or related matters in this regard. Chairperson, as the city, we are mandated to look into air quality management legislatively in terms of Section B of the Constitution responsibilities, and include the development and implementation of the air quality management plan. We are also tasked to do what we call monitor our ambient air quality monitoring, which we use our ambient air quality monitoring station. By the way, Chairperson, as the city, we have a total number of 16 ambient air quality monitoring stations, of which one is mobile. Normally, we use it to address a complaint that requires immediate intervention. We are also responsible for issuing or managing atmospheric emission license, and also monitor compliance monitoring in this regard. We are also responsible in terms of developing our air quality bylaws that supplement the National Air Quality Management Act and all relevant related air quality related legislation. Allow me, Chairperson, to give you a history or tools that eThekwini have done thus far to address air pollution related matters. Chairperson, air quality in the South Durban started escalating in the late 1990s due to sulfur dioxide from refineries that are responsible for paper mills and also sugar mills. In this regard, Chairperson, then through multi-point engagement, the establishment of, sorry, Chairperson, in 2000, the multi-point plan was established as a response to the national, provincial, and local, and the problem in terms of air pollution in the South Durban Basin. We then, in 2006, Chairperson, engaged in the first phase of the multi-point plan in the South Durban Basin to address air quality related matters, which then graduate in 2007 into our first air quality management plan. Secondly, our second air quality management plan was then came into place in 2015. Currently, Chairperson, we are in the third generation AQMP development, which also have the goals that 7 goals that address air quality related matters. I will only talk to 2, which is transparent, which talks about the city engagement with the communities in order to address air quality related matters, and also development of policies that address air quality related issues. Chairperson, the current status of South Durban Basin is based on the historical history, whereby we found that communities surround the industrial area in this regard. The industrial located in a close proximity to resident area due to historical poor town planning, which results in air pollution impacting negatively on the communities, thereby cause human health impact in this regard. That is where, Chairperson, as the city, we have done our utmost best to have the what we call the air quality management plan, which address issues within the city at large. Currently, Chairperson, allow me to bring it to your attention that as the city, we're in a process of also developing what we call the control fuel policy. The reason, Chairperson, to develop this control fuel policy is to mitigate all those activities that were excluded in the National Air Quality Management Act and also were not part of our bylaws. So this policy will come in handy to try and manage all fuels that we regard them as dirty fuels. The next phase, Chairperson, in this regard is for the city to go to areas that are regarded as the low emission zone. The main reason behind this, Chairperson, is that we're trying to get our city to be moved away to be regarded as the priority area or to be regarded as a hotspot in terms of air pollution. Through our Office of the Mayor, Chairperson, we have signed what we call an agreement with C40, and the city have set mitigation goals in this regard, whereby we are aiming to minimize our or to achieve the national ambient air quality standard of 2025 and also the standard of 2030. That also talks to the WHO standards, Chairperson. With regards to engine refinery, Chairperson, in the South Durban Basin, the facility is located at 403 to 459 Tara Road, Wentworth, Chairperson. The facility, therefore, is before the facility currently was issued with an atmospheric emission license. Thorough public participation in this regard was undertaken. Comments from the public were received and scrutinized, and then the license was then issued after. Chairperson, as the city air quality officer, I am required before issuing an atmospheric emission license to take into consideration comments that are raised by the public. If I can give one scenario, Chairperson, we had one facility in the South Durban Basin whereby I received plus or minus 16 objectives. In that regard, as the city air quality officer, I have to consolidate all the objectives that were raised by the community and prepare a report which gets submitted to all community representatives who raised their concern before the decision has been taken in this regard. Engine Petroleum, Chairperson, is in possession of a third atmospheric emission license, which was issued on the 31st of March 2020. The license is due to lapse on 31st of March 2025. We're expecting that the facility will then have to renew their license, its license, before 1st of October 2024. The AEL is structured with provision aimed to protect both the environment and human health. Yet, Chairperson will also take into consideration the prioritizing sustainable development for present and future generation. Chairperson, through my experience as the city air quality officer, I have issued atmospheric emission license on different departments. Initially, I was responsible for atmospheric emission license together with monitoring at the city of Ekurhuleni. I was responsible for atmospheric emission license at the national department, which is currently known as DFFE. Checking on the atmospheric emission license that we are currently issuing as the city of eThekwini chairperson, allow me to say we go extra miles, whereby some of the facilities, they even end up engaging with us based on the conditions that are currently sitting in the license. Because our license chairperson, it's not a matter of issuing a license. We mainly focus on the human health impact. We also focus on the environmental or what we call the receiving environment, chairperson. Yet, we also take into consideration the socio and economic development in this regard. License, permit, and compliance, chairperson. Let me focus on the engine. The engine refinery has been offline since December 2020, and the site has been operating in a terminal mode with special project and when required. The contamination activity that commenced in May 2021 on the processing unit were required to ensure that the refinery will remain in a safe state while it's still offline. Allow me, chairperson, to bring it to your attention that as the city, we scrutinize thoroughly the stack emissions report for engine and also what we call the fence line monitoring. Engine currently is complying with all standards, may it be fence line standards together with stack monitoring emission standards. That's the reason, chairperson, that engine is currently in a hold of their third atmospheric emission license. If there was no non-compliance, chairperson, allow me to submit to your office that the city will have taken very serious, drastic actions. For example, chairperson, when it comes to non-compliance, we don't compromise the human health and the environment. Let me bring you one scenario with one of the facility, which is SAPI. The moment the city identify non-compliance, we immediately issue a non-compliance notice. We took SAPI to court, and they end up paying a fine of 8 million, chairperson. Yet, as the city, we're hoping for a fine that will exceed at least that 8 million we regard it as minimum. But that's one of an example that I'm putting on the table, that we take non-compliance as seriously as the city. Currently, engine, in terms of fence line monitoring, chairperson, they are submitting their monthly report in this regard. We also have engagement with engine on quarterly basis at the city to closely monitor compliance in this regard. All those engagement we don't do only for engine, we also do for all other facilities that are currently in hold of what we call atmospheric emission license issued by the city. Stakeholder engagement, chairperson, currently as the city, what we do with regards to all facilities that are in possession of atmospheric emission license, we advocate for them to initiate what we call stakeholder engagement in their area. That talks to the permits that they're currently holding. All those engagement can be extended to bring in waste issues and water issues, chairperson. But all air pollution-related matters must always be in the agenda. In this regard, the city has what we call a quarterly air quality forum, which is chaired by me, chairperson, as the air quality officer of the city, whereby we invite facilities within the city together with NGOs in one house to engage and share information. With our previous engagement, we had Tongat, Netcos were presenting on their odor management, Tongat ULED were presenting on their emission reduction plan. In the next forum, we have Engine, which will be presenting their emission reduction plan. And we also offered opportunities to NGOs to give us a presentation with areas of concern and where we as the city needs to improve together with facilities. Within the engine, we have what we call stakeholder engagement platform, which is called the Joint Committees Chairperson, whereby air quality related issues are being addressed in this regard. And we call upon NGOs to fully participate in this regard, because when NGOs withdraw in such kind of engagement, Chairperson, it takes us as the city backward, because there is more information that get discussed or in that area or platforms. We also have what we call an ad hoc meeting between eThekwini and Setsi, whereby we address issue of complaints. We normally report on complaints that were submitted, how did we address them, where can we improve, and in terms of engagement, specifically with Setsi in this regard, Chairperson. I think our last meeting in this regard with Setsi, it was supposed to be end of November. Setsi, unfortunately, they submit their apology right while on the day of the meeting in that regard, if I remember correctly, Chairperson. Chairperson, allow me to take you through what we call our ambient air quality or state of air report in the city. I will focus mainly on the South Durban-Benson area, Chairperson, with regards to PM10 and PM2.5. and also SO2. The current table you see below is the PM10, and whereby the standard is 75. Where you see the exceedancy there, it was during winter. We did acknowledge and try to see what was the issue behind that. And then you will see that there's then the trail of data do follow compliance in this regard. It is below the standard. And then let me bring to your attention an annual SO2 trend at the South Durban-Benson during the year 2020-2023. No exceedancy of the annual SO2 was recorded in this regard. There you will see our ambient national air quality standard. You will see that the South Durban-Benson is currently below the standard there. This Chairperson, I will say that it was informed due to the, let me say, engine was offline together with SAPREF. But Chairperson, we as the city, we have developed areas whereby we monitor compliance thoroughly in terms of our AEL, Chairperson. Numerous compliance notices have been issued, and facilities have been responding in that regard. That's why, Chairperson, I would like to say, you will see that there's already improvement in this regard. With regards to PM2.5 and also PM10 trends, you will see that in 2020 we had minor accidents, but going forward, you will see that compliance has been recorded all along. The same applies to 2.5 in this regard. Allow me to present to you what we call air quality index for PM10, which is dust. For the duration recorded, you will see that the green part, Chairperson, indicate the air has been good. We have the one that are in yellow, which talks about moderate. The red part is unhealthy, and the purple part talks about hazardous. This is the state of the air in the area. At the current moment, average is good. The one that I'm currently displaying is for PM2.5. Let me talk to you about the engagement that the city is currently having with the South Durban-Benson. Chairperson, with our ad hoc meeting that we've been sitting with South Durban-Benson, there were numerous engagement talks about bringing young or interns within the South Durban-Benson to come and get some work exposure within the city, and we have opened the doors for that. We are also collaborating with the South Durban-Benson Community Environmental Alliance in what we call passive sampling. We are going to co-locate or place all this passive sampling, whereby The South Durban Basin will be placing their samples, will be also be putting our samples, trying to do ambient air quality monitoring as a collectively. This platform chairperson will also assist in terms of the transfer of skills from officials together with the skills that the South Durban Basin are currently having. The meeting has been scheduled, I think, is for 14 and 15 March. We'll be having our first engagement in this regard. Chairperson, in conclusion, allow me to say the unit is committed to provide reasonable measures to prevent air pollution impacts on both environment and human health within the South Durban Basin and the municipality at large, using the available legislation and tools. There's also a program that is coming, Chairperson, which is called Compliance Monitoring and Enforcement. We'll be working very closely as a city with province and the national. Currently, we are busy tabling what we call facilities that we have regarded them as problematic within the eThekwini area. Therefore, we're going to be undertaking or rolling out what we call a collective compliance and enforcement in this regard. Chairperson, that was a very brief presentation from my side. And I would like to say thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, eThekwini. Honorable members, we will club all the three presentations from the South Durban Community Alliance, from the engine refinery, and the eThekwini presentation. May I now invite questions? Honorable Winkler, you'll be the first. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, Chair. Thank you. So my questions are to, I think, eThekwini as well as DFFE officials and possibly also Engine. I know that when we first tackled this issue as a portfolio committee in the beginning of 2019, a multi-stakeholder forum was facilitated by DFFE. And I'd like to know, what has the outcome been of that multi-stakeholder forum? It was so that the community could actively engage with this, with Engine, with SASOL, with DFFE, and with the other NPOs working on the air pollution issues and the just transition. So I'd like to know, I think from SDCEA, whether that's been a successful platform, or what positive resolutions came out of that platform, and if issues like the just transition were discussed on that platform. And then I'd also like to know about, from I think eThekwini, the reliability of the air quality monitoring stations in that basin. And are all these stations working at present? What is the, I think, efficacy of that data? Is it being made readily available to the community and to other organizations that have been monitoring the situation? And if not, what is eThekwini going to do about ensuring that these air quality monitoring stations are indeed working at full capacity? And then I'm not sure if this is something that the official from eThekwini can respond to, but outside of the environmental pollution, which is air pollution, there's also a massive sewage problem in the South Durban Basin, with, I think it's 40,000 liters of sewage gushing from the residential areas into the ocean. And that is a tourist, I think, hotspot there on the coast. So there is a number of issues that are unfortunately plaguing this community, and it's been for decades now. It's not air pollution, it's the fact that now there's raw sewage. Now there's also a problem with employment opportunities and a just transition. So yeah, if they could please try and respond to some of those queries. And then hopefully if I'd be given an opportunity for follow-up if possible after that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Winkler. I hope all the presenters are taking note of the questions that they have to respond to. Honorable Sin.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and thank you to all the presenters. Honorable Chairperson, as I said yesterday, I've been involved in this process from 1998, when I was the MEC for Environment and brought the serious matter of the unacceptable situation in the South Durban Basin to the attention of the National Minister, Wali Musa, at that time. And arising from that, we came up with what was called the multi-point plan, and there was a gentleman called Siva Chetty that was involved. So I want to go back into history a bit and ask the Durban representative that's here, to what extent has there been implementation of the multi-point plan? To what extent has those fora that were created then been able to meet? I heard you talked about quarterly meetings, and some parties don't attend the meetings. Because for me, Honorable Chairperson, the crux of the matter from yesterday here has been that eThekwini, Engen in particular, community organizations, some of them have been talking past each other. And I want to know from Engen whether they are satisfied that every community organization, although they did say that we are prepared to welcome everybody, every community organization that has an interest in this matter has been given an opportunity to air their views in meetings, so that all of you come up with solutions that will be acceptable to eThekwini, to yourselves, and to all the other community representatives that are there. So that's the one question. So it's all about engagement between, and an honest engagement, because yesterday we heard from SETC and Groundwork that they don't feel that they are part of these engagements that Engen is involved in. And perhaps both Engen and eThekwini can talk to me or to the committee about whether there are separate engagements, one which involves eThekwini, which they have to manage, because they are from the presentations, they are primarily responsible for air pollution standards and quality and risk mitigation in that area. The Constitution empowers them to be responsible. So we hold them entirely responsible, because even the National Minister, in correspondence that she sent to me about a month ago, indicates that it's the prime responsibility of eThekwini, but the national department is prepared to assist where they can, and I think they are doing that. So if they can answer these questions, I think it'll clear a lot of the unhealthy situation that exists between community organizations, the city, and Engen and other industries in that area. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Singh. Honorable Kapa.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, and thank you for the presentations. Just a few minor questions. One, that there is that part of SAPI on the south of Durban. I wonder if they have any voluntary or mandatory contribution that they do towards the community, since their activity is conspicuous that air pollution is continuing there, and therefore do they have anything that they do to assist whether the community or the municipality? And now there is also this part of, no, I also think now what you call, what I'm going to talk about, the partnership. Is there any partnership with institutions, that is what with Engen now, with institutions that would further assist the students that they assist, which I believe is good work? But do they have any institutions or even research institutions that they partner with, so that they escalate or improve the work that they are doing? And also, do they have some considerable, sufficient publicity over this issue? Because anything that to me seems to be going towards the community should be made to know And lastly, I haven't heard anything about the sugarcane producers, whom I also believe that there is a lot of contribution towards air pollution with their activities and production activities. Thank you, Chair.
Noted. Thank you, Honorable Kapa. Honorable Mbata.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you to the presenters. I'm happy that eThekwini municipality has got a air quality officer. But I didn't hear if they have an EMI officer situated within the municipality. What I wanted to know, I think it's you saying that you are doing sampling, and how is that sampling being monitored? The air pollution, even inside the engine and within the community. I'm asking this question because we were there, and how the engine itself, how is it situated? It's incorrectly situated. Like you have mentioned that there was a poor zoning. It's very close to the community, and there's a school there. I remember when we were at the school, we could smell the gases from the engine. It's too close to the community. So, and the other thing is what is it going to be done? What is your municipality plan on the issue of engine? Because it can't be situated so close to the community to avoid what has happened where the communities were injured, their flats were burnt, and the ongoing smell, like the ground workers and the other NGOs have presented, that there is an ongoing atmospheric pollution from the gases from that engine. And I want to know also, within the engine, on all those people that were injured and all those houses that were damaged, the flats that were damaged. And has this been reported through the compensation commissioner? And has this been written or been seen? Because it must be noticed, and the occupational health nurse and the occupational health doctor must give a first incident report to the compensation commissioner and a second incident report, so that those cases are reported correctly at the compensation commissioner. In case after some years, the same person gets more infected, because some of these things, they don't appear in the beginning, but after some years, they will appear on a human being. So the compensation commissioner needs to go back to the file and see if this case has been reported, because if it's not been done, it's a danger to those people because they won't be able to be compensated. Yes, they have been injured, but we need also to follow up on the issue of being compensated by the compensation commissioner and also by the engine itself. And I don't know, I'm not sure if I heard from engine the steps that they have taken to compensate those people as engine, and also to correctly rebuild, refurnish, revamp their flats, those who had flats or houses, because some people don't have insurances. What happened to those people that got injured and the kids that have scars now, that will have scars forever? What is engine doing on those communities? How are they going to benefit to the engine company, especially those who were affected during that incident. Besides that incident, others that, because they are saying that the kids have got asthmas and so forth, and the adults so forth. What is it being done by the eThekwini and also by engine? Because we have the NGOs who are doing the sampling also, and their samplings, they are on their report saying that there are so many people that have been affected by these cases. Remember, cases, they go very fast to the air, to pollute the air. And what is happening, and mostly to the school that is next, just a stone throw away from the engine. What are the steps that are being taken? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mbata. Honorable Mkunu.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson, and greetings to you and all the honorable members and the presenters, the team from different sectors. Chair, mine is on Engine's presentation. I remember that when we had a meeting with the Engine, they provided this presentation, which was only talking about positive issues and their contribution, which is good for any company that works within the community to do that, to have that presentation. When I looked at that presentation, it looks similar, mostly similar to what was presented when we went for that oversight. But now my worry, Chairperson, is yes, there are positive things, but what about the pollution side, which the company needs to take care of? I don't get any improvement when it comes to that they are improving when it comes to controlling the pollution and everything. My other challenge is in terms of the municipality and the air quality section is if you have communities that are saying we are affected, but on the other hand, you have the municipality that says, yes, in terms of air quality, I saw those yellow pictures on their chart. But now, how do you then correct or balance that, your air quality report, balance it with and check with what is really happening on the ground as per the NGOs that are presenting that were presenting yesterday, presenting another scenario that talks to dangers that are faced by the communities. I think if I can get that one clarified, but also to say or to Engine, what is the plan that they have when it comes to the health issues within the community, on how do they respond to the health issues of the South Durban Basin, and I won't say much about the stakeholder engagement because the colleagues have touched on it, and it needs to be effective. How can we make it more effective from the side of Engine, from the side of eThekwini, and the three? And also the community at large. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mamkunu. Before we invite the presenters to respond, allow me, honorable members, to quickly refresh your minds from the presentation yesterday made by the South Durban Community Alliance groundwork. And in their presentation, they made the recommendations, amongst others, that they want a moratorium on all the activities in Engine. They feel that Engine is the law unto themselves. They do not get a sense or feel of the just transition plan by the Metro. And they feel that Engine disregards the health and well-being of the people there. And I thought that Engine and the Metro were going to repanel bid their presentations to speak to the issues that have been raised by the South Durban Community Alliance. Now, I want someone to argue here, honorable members, that there isn't, or there is, a clear and visible disjuncture amongst all the stakeholders there for even a blind man to see. So eThekwini says that they have forums and blah, 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 blah. But on the contrary, the presentation of the South Durban Community Alliance does not seem to be in sync or in agreement with that. Now, if we were to ask questions, because I think part 2 from eThekwini says that the refinery is operational on terminal mode. I found it a bit difficult to understand what is on terminal mode and offline. Because if the community says that they are still affected by air pollution as a result of the activities of the refinery, and we are told that they are operating on terminal mode and offline, I find a contradiction there. So any of these presenters will have to speak to us, but I think from where we are seated, there's an agreement that Engine, eThekwini, SDCEA, environmental affairs at the provincial level, and the community are not speaking to each other. That is why we have this item in our agenda, because had things been going according to plan and as good as they are being presented to us here, we would not be having disengagement. A direct question to part 2 there in eThekwini is, you have 16 ambient air quality monitoring stations, or whatever you call them. Are they able to depict prior or how effective are they? Simply put, how effective are these air quality monitoring stations? Please take us through. We'll also afford each one of you to give us an account of the meetings that you've been having amongst each other. Engine, eThekwini, SDCA, ETIA, the Provincial Environmental Affairs Department there, and the community, because that is, those are the people that in the main we represent as public representatives. But also the presentation of the South Durban Community Alliance says that this is in line with the question that has been asked by Honorable Mbata, that there are about 300 houses Yeah, I think they said 300 houses that were burned. And some families are left stranded and traumatized, etc. I think it's block 10, if my memory serves me well. Has Engine worn their shoes and tightened their belt to visit these 300 communities? Is it for the first time that you hear about it in this meeting? Does eThekwini, as public representatives also, have you engaged with these communities? Engine, as the refinery itself, has it visited any of these 300 families that are affected directly and probably traumatized? So if we can be taken through, paint a picture that says, yes, we are meeting. The last meeting was on the 10th of February, and the next meeting is on the 13th of April, and all of that. So I want to invite first the Alliance, South African, the South Durban Community Alliance, and then we will invite the Engine Refinery and then conclude with eThekwini.
Hey, so thank you, Chair. And, I want to respect the parliamentarian process. I think Bongani and we have a lot of respect for the MPs who we've worked with.
Desmond.
Desmond Disa.
Yeah, when you respect Parliament, you raise your hand first, but proceed.
Sorry, I did put it on. Let me see. Okay.
That's fine. Proceed, Desmond.
So this question of, you will recall the parliamentarians through our effort in 2020, the 4th of December, the explosion, that you as parliamentarians came to the Engine Refinery in 2021 on the 18th of January. You met with the communities as well. And you will recall that we raised these issues of engines of not working with the local community. We also raised the issue of how the Engine Refinery had appointed consultants to go around 300 houses. The block of flats that was refurbished by the department, KwaZulu-Natal Human Settlements Department, that we have a relationship in refurbishing all the flats. So that block was done by the Human Settlements Department in the province, where I sit as the chair of the Community Liaison Forum. So that's been done by the department, not Engine. Engine paid for the burnt furniture, not all of it. They didn't pay for everything that was burnt. Right. The second thing is the houses that were damaged, quite a number of houses in Merebank and the Bluff and Treasure Beach. They sent their consultants around, and then they came up with to say that this is not going to be done. So a number of people have not been visited by Engine per se, but their consultants. And they never paid and never compensated or fixed the problem. Quite a number of homes in the area, people are still struggling to fix their problems that were damaged with that explosion. A number of those people that were affected and traumatized there was no health official or health person or a system set up, an assessment set up where the health department was involved, and Patu wasn't here, might I say. But also Engine did not set up, so there's been no counseling, there's been no treatment, there's been nothing at all done for people. Now, to the issue of the pollution. Last year in October, Patu, the health official, issued a letter to Engine, but Engine did and gave them permission. We as a community knew nothing about it. Nothing. We were shocked that the only time we knew about it is when the pollution started. We said, what's going on at Engine? We're aware of the explosion of the refinery that took place. We're aware of all the explosions that have taken place. We have all the evidence about it. But he, as an official, never gave us a letter and knew about us. Knew about us because we had worked with him on other industries, but also took him around when he first arrived in Durban to understand the hotspots and where the pollution and what the smells were. We went with a team of him at night. Bongani and I risked our lives and went with his team, taking them around and showing them the problems of the area, including the engine, the fence line where there was a huge smell about the benzene. Nothing's been done about that. But let me say that when he issued a letter giving the refinery permission. There was no interest in affected parties of the community who have been challenging Engen over 30 years were ever involved in it. We then wrote to him in December. We had to all come back and go and work on this, and wrote to Patu and other health officials and asked them who gave permission. We even wrote to the National Department of Grant Walters, who gave permission for Engen to restart. We're not aware about it. People on holiday. And during the holiday, when children and schools are closed, this thing happens. All the children in Merebank, Wentworth, and the Bluff and Treasure Beach were affected, including Lamontville, were affected with the pollution that happened and continue to flare even now as I talk to you. Even this morning at 5 o'clock when I went to church, the flaring continues. Why hasn't the department took any sampling or anything in regard to that? So that flaring carries on. The flare even flew off from one of those chimney snacks and it's in the refinery, right? Imagine if that flare hit one of those buildings again, how many people would have been injured? That flare is not even operational properly. That the tip of the flare right on top of the pipes. So this is happening under his watch. And what they're not showing and what they're not saying here, the health department, is that they're not showing the benzene levels that are very high. They're not showing that. And we did talk about the cancer and the leukemia. We are burying people day in, day out in Wentworth. People are still with chronic asthma, and the department is shying away from doing a medical assessment of the area. It hasn't done an assessment. The last time Engen blew up, we asked them for assessment. The last time SAP report blew up, we asked the department to do an assessment. We have all those letters, and we will forward it to the members of parliament so they're aware that this is not the truth, what's been presented here. The second thing is that Engen, after the members of parliament came down on the 18th of January, they engaged with us just to go. When we started to talk about the levels of pollution and health and just transition, they stopped talking to us. They went on their own, decided to talk on their own without talking to the NGOs and the community who understand the discussions and debates around air pollution and the impact it has on people's health and well-being, but also our children that are dying. We know that as a fact. So I want to say that what we're hoping to get out of this process is a real process. You as members of parliament, you understand this whole thing. We are hoping that when we leave this meeting today, that there must be direction, that Engen and the department must be directed. I'm glad that Barbara Creasy, I must say for the first time, she's written a letter and directed the mayor of Durban, including his departments. So I think there is a way forward. They must hold a proper meeting. They must engage with people. They must not shy away from who they choose. Engen has got no right to choose who represents the community. They should not be doing that because they are giving their social directions to people. We want to engage with them. They must come with all the information. Barbara Creasy has directed that the Department of eThekwini is not being honest here. So we want the national department to oversee the local department, because even at the local government level, the waters, the beaches are all closed. The water is contaminated. So we need the national to have a say in this whole matter and direct, and they must send the DG down so we can sort this out and we can make sure that the national, which is not contaminated with what's going on in Durban, that we have a say in dealing with the health issues, in dealing with a just transition, as Bobby and Bongani put it across yesterday. It's a serious business. It can't continue that the refineries think that they are law above themselves. Country has laws. The country has a law for each and every one of us. The refineries cannot be treated differently. And that's what we're finding in Durban, that the refineries are treated differently by our local government. We need national to be involved, and we need the members of parliament, that oversight that you play. We really appreciate it, to make sure that these complaints that have been coming to you for over years doesn't go. We want you really to make sure that these complaints are dealt with and people are held accountable for whatever they do. We are letting people get away with it, and we should not be. And we look into parliament. That's why we came to parliament. That's why we've been consistently coming to parliament, because at local level and the refineries, boss on themselves. They think that they own the whole country and they can do what they want to do. They don't care about people's well-being, quality of life, and jobs. Our people are unemployed in South Durban because the refineries kick them all out, don't care about them, and don't even worry about their families. That's the refinery we're dealing with. They talk about their social problem. They don't talk about what they done when the refinery shut down on the 4th of December up until now with the workers of the people of South Durban. Thank you, Chair. I don't know, Bongani maybe wants to add to it, but he's welcome to.
Chair, if you may please allow me. Yes, Chair. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and greetings to all the honorable parliamentarians, Portfolio Committee. Chair, I'm really disappointed, and I'm not sure what are the right words to actually express how I feel currently, because when I listen to Patu, he gives me the same impression that I saw from Bruce Dale, the person that was responsible in 2019 when we visited Portfolio Committee in Cape Town. He was there, he presented. I also presented. We portrayed two different pictures. Bruce Dale portrayed a gloomy, glossy picture that everything is under control in South Durban. But when I presented immediately after him, the Portfolio Committee saw a different perspective, saw a different picture. It's exactly what is currently happening now when Patu is mentioning that engine is fully compliant, and there's not even a single slide from Patu as the official responsible, mandated for the communities and well-being of these fence line communities. He has a responsibility to ensure that industries, they comply and they do things correctly. But he is coming here in this platform and painting a different picture to say this company is compliant. It's saddening. It is saddening. It is really saddening. Because number one, Honorable Portfolio Committee, we do the groundwork. When basically my work is to take, I'm an air quality and GIS officer. So my bread and butter, I need to take air sample on a daily basis if I find a problem using our equipment. I'm there on the ground. I'm there where those communities are complaining because they complain to us, because they've built trust to the organization over the years. I have never seen or never came across the officials taking any samples. I know that they have a sophisticated system of which it's air quality monitoring station, of which is also failing to mention in this platform now that some of these stations are not fully functional. That's the question that I asked him on our last engagement, that some of these stations are not fully functional. Then they said to me, it's because they were destroyed during the floods. But there's not a single slide that's mentioning that out of the 16 stations, there are 5, if I'm not mistaken, that are not operational. So that means there's data gap. There's data gap, so the data is not accurate that's being received by the city. So then, if there's data gap, where is the other data that's supposed to be feeding in the system? People are experiencing pollution, people are sick out there, and there's information that's not being presented in the Portfolio Committee. I'd also like to thank all the honorables, starting from Mr. Singh and Honorable Mr. Singh and Honorable Hannah, as well as Honorable Mkuno. You know, on those, and as well, Honorable, I forgot Modise. No, sorry, why I'm saying Modise. Umama that also asked critical questions as well. But can I just go to Honorable Mkuno when she is reminding Engine to say the presentation that you're presenting to us is similar to the one that you presented to us in 2020. I'm very happy and excited because it shows that our honorable ministers, our honorable portfolio committee, they actually take notes and they see if they are being cheated. And it's really, really unnecessary for us to come to this platform and really not portray a true reflection of what is happening on the ground. Typical example, Engine on a continuous basis. I even mentioned this yesterday. We have never had any engagement with Engine because Engine is not willing to sit with us and listen to us and hear our concerns. Unfortunately, the platform that they have, it's a platform of people who are probably some of them seeking some sort of crumbs falling from the table. I'll just be blunt on that one. I'll just be blunt on that one. So we discredit that platform because we feel that it's not a pure, genuine platform that's really raising the concerns of the people out there that are suffering. There are 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds that are carrying asthma pump on a daily basis. On a daily basis, going to school, playing wherever they're playing within their communities. Young children, they're carrying asthma pumps. Yes, I know for a fact we cannot only point Engine on that one because there's also SAPREF on the other side. There's also Mondi. But Engine is equally responsible. And there's nothing really, they cannot come now and tell us about the few students and the distinctions and the contribution that they are making. No. We should not be misled. If that's what a social investment is, yes, they can do that. But they cannot tell us out of the millions profits that they are making from refining in this refinery, of which I think we also need to also take into consideration, my honorables, that it is in a residential zone. It's unlike SAPREF. SAPREF is situated in an industrial zone. Engine is surrounded by communities. And it's the very company that is disregarding the health and well-being of our people. So it's really disheartening to see officials that are really not having the well-being of our communities at heart, portraying such a picture like this. It's exactly what happened in 2019 November when Bruce Dale presented. And the portfolio committee never gave him a chance. They grilled him properly from what they actually got from him and what I presented. It's totally unacceptable. I will put, okay, one other point, Chair. There's a reason why all these years we have issued, we have picketed, we have come in numbers at the Engine's gate to hand over memorandum of our demands and concerns compared to SAPREF. SAPREF, we have went there thrice. Ever since I came to this organization, we have picketed at SAPREF and handed over memorandums thrice, but we have done numerous pickets at SAPREF, but only 3 times we have handed out memorandums. But if you ask me at Engine, it's countless. It's countless how many memorandums we have issued at that refinery. And that is because there's a reason. There is a reason of how they conduct business and how they conduct and treat the fence line communities. Chair, I'll stop there for now. And then I think it's best they actually respond for themselves. Thank you, Ngiyabonga.
Engine, can you speak directly to the issues that are being raised, community engagement and all that?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you to the honorable members for the questions. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to try and respond to all of them at the same time. I, however, apologize if I miss some along the way. So in terms of the engagement with the community, we engage with the community. The last meeting of the JC was on the 9th of February, and the next one will be sometime in March. So we do engage. And when we started this engagement, the one that we have, I indicated, Honorable Chair, that after the December 2020 fire, there was a directive saying that we must get a independent facilitator to assist in forming a committee that will be representative of the community of Durban South. So the advocate did this work for a period of about a year or year and a half. And at the end of his facilitation, the terms of reference for the new committee were drafted, and the subcommittees of this bigger committee were established. And during this entire time, honorable members, ZC and groundwork were invited, and they were during the initial engagements, and they opted not to be part of the JC and the subcommittees, honorable members. It is unfortunate that now we are here saying that Engen doesn't want to engage community. We do engage. We have a structure, ZC and Groundworks, or any other group that wanted to be the part of this joint committee were invited. Honorable members, ZC and Groundworks are not the only groups within Durban South. So it's important that we as an organization engage all the interested and affected parties in the same forum. We don't want to be going to this forum saying this and another forum saying something else. So I thought I should just address the issue around the engagement. The next one is regarding the people that were injured during the fire. If you remember, honorable members, we indicated about 4 people were taken at the gate by an ambulance to the hospital because they were running and they were very anxious. All of these individuals were discharged on the same day. They were treated for shock. So there are no injuries that I know of relating to the incident on the 4th of December. The incident was also reported to the Department of Labor as is expected. The claims that are related to the incident were managed. And as you know, with all claims, you need to have a facilitator, as well as the insurance assessors and independent consultants, so that they are able to go and visit the sites and be able to assess all the claims were paid. Regarding the Block 10, an independent process was applied to support the residents. This was on an independent basis, and they received support in the form of household goods, financial support, and health-related interventions. It is important to note that we made available different kind of specialists where the community members from Block 10 were expected to go and then be assessed. We provided a mental health support in this regard as well for those communities. In terms of compliance, honorable members, the last comment I think that Mr. Desmond made was that we need to comply with the laws of the country. My presentation yesterday demonstrated our compliance to the laws of the country. As an organization, we pride ourselves in terms of our commitment to compliance with the national laws. Yesterday, I indicated in my presentations our emissions versus the ambient air quality standards. maybe just a little bit on these standards, because they are set by national department. I want to specifically focus on the ambient air quality standards as well as the minimum emission standards. As the air quality officer from eThekwini indicated, the municipality is responsible for the ambient air quality standards. These standards are the ones that determines the air that is not harmful and to health and well-being in accordance with the Constitution. In Durban South, there are many industries. It's not just engine. And these ambient standards then look at the cumulative contribution of all the industries, including the households, including the vehicles. So we have just seen now from the air quality officer's presentation that Durban South doesn't have serious exceedances in terms of the ambient air quality standards. If the ambient air quality standards are impacted, there is a provision in the National Air Quality Framework for the municipality or even national and provincial to decide to have the Durban South declared as a priority area. Priority areas have been declared throughout the country. There's a Vaal Triangle priority area, there's a Highveld priority area. These areas is because the ambient air quality was compromised, and hence it was important for the government to declare those areas as priority area. Durban South air quality has not necessitated the basin to be declared as a priority area. The second issue that is in terms of the legislation that I want to talk about are the minimum emission standards. There are listed activities in government that talk to the big industries. The petroleum industry is one of those listed industries. And we have emission standards for the different emission points in terms of our processes. Engine is compliant with the minimum emission standards. Engine has been in compliance for many years. So it's important, Chair, that the members note that when it comes to us wanting to be compliant, that is what we want to do. This is our license to operate, and we will do it, even go beyond compliance. I want to talk a little bit about the starting of the KHT in December. We have just heard that I think it is Mr. Mthembu saying that, or was it Mr. Desai? I don't remember, saying that the community was not informed in terms of the starting of the KHT in December. The JC has been made aware in terms of the activities that take place in the refinery. Just before we started the KHT, and I've indicated in terms of how it fits into the process. And before doing that, we sent out communication in terms of pamphlets. We put in the local newspaper and informed the community that we are going to start the KHT in December. And I'm going to now talk quickly about the flaring. In terms of engine or any other petroleum organization, a flare is there to ensure the safety of the facility. In case of an emergency, then the flare is used. It's a safety control device as well as an environmental control tool meant to burn excess hydrocarbon during the upset conditions by mixing them with the steam, resulting in maximum combustion and production of CO2 and water vapor. Currently, the flaring that you see there, the energy that we are using for the KHT is a methane-rich gas. And as a result of that, the emissions from there are very insignificant. There will always be a flare. Sometimes it's visible sometimes it's very small. The reason why there will always be a flare is because, like I indicated, it's a safety control device. We don't have the opportunity when there are upsets to now start looking at something to start the flare. Therefore, it is important for us to keep the flare there in case of an emergency. The community, maybe I should just stop there to see if I tried to answer most of this. I will check, if you allow me, Honorable Chair, if you can give somebody else the platform, then I will go and check the questions that I have not responded to, then I'll come back, if you allow me.
Certainly, Memoraga, Agona Butata, require eThekwini, and then we'll allow follow-ups, and then we close. eThekwini?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. There were plenty of questions that have been assigned to me. I will try to do justice and answer to all of them. Those that I want, can I be reminded of them so that I will talk to them as well? Chairperson, allow me to start with the question, the first question that was raised in terms of ambient air quality monitoring. Chairperson, it's true, as the city, we have 16 ambient air quality monitoring and one which is mobile. So we have 15 that are stationary. Chairperson, 4 of the stations are currently offline. The reason is that one was affected by flood, and we have managed now to secure a new safe location, and the construction of the station, it has reached its final stage. We are currently awaiting electronic connection. Then the station will be back to life again. The other 4, Chairperson, they were also affected by, I think 3 were floods. 1 was the issue of criminality. So we had to then strategically relocate all those stations. Reason being that we need to also have a comprehensive data in terms of ambient air quality monitoring within the eThekwini. So most of our stations were mainly focusing on the Southern area, which is true. But now we're not getting a comprehensive data. So now what we did, we have strategically allocate or relocate some of the stations, whereby those other 4 are currently waiting for electronic connection. We have 1 which is connected, but it can't come back to life. We are waiting for certificate, electrical certificate, so that it can be switched on. So definitely all our stations will be back to life. Chairperson, there was also a question if our data is quantity and validity in this regard. Chairperson, we have managed to secure fund. Reason being that we've identified that all our stations are old. These stations were, ever since they were procured, they've never been replaced in this regard. So some of them are currently leaking when we have rains. So we have those that during rain season, they go off. A technician have to go and switch them on. We're using what we call ad hoc maintenance, trying to do roof leaks and so on. So currently we have a new project which is called renewal of the eThekwini ambient air quality monitoring. So we're procuring all stationary 15 ambient air quality monitoring station and the contract will be running for a period of 3 years, which means that all our stations after 3 years, they will be completely brand new. On top of this, Chairperson, we have identified that the issue of load shedding, Chairperson, have impacted us negatively with regards to our ambient air quality monitoring station, whereby some of our analyzers were faulty and couldn't be repaired because they were bent because of electrical tripping and so on. Currently, the new 3 contracts that are coming in. We are procuring 7 SO2 analyzers, also 7, let me see, ozone and the NOx. The reason, Chairperson, is that we're trying to fine-tune and have a brand new ambient air quality monitoring station so that we provide data of quality. Yes, Chairperson, due to supply chain and other processes internally, we'll almost have that slightly delay. But our passion is that let's have all our ambient air quality monitoring a reporting data of validity. Chairperson, all our data is reporting live to the what we call South African Air Quality Information System, the SAQIS, for the public and the students who are currently doing air quality related research in that regard. There were the issue of sewer, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'm the city air quality officer. My apology, Chairperson. If I talk to sewer, Chairperson, I might not do justice. Chairperson, with regards to the issue of SAPI, it came together with the issue of EMI. Chairperson, I received my EMI Environmental Management Inspector designation February 2024. So I'm an EMI grade 1 currently, as we speak. An EMI grade 1, Chairperson, it's let me say it's a decision maker in terms of compliance enforcement in this regard in issuing of notices. Hence, I've said, Chairperson, with my presentation, when it comes to compliance enforcement, Chairperson, if engine, in a nutshell, Chairperson, there was non-compliance, I wouldn't hesitate to issue a notice. Because my role as the air quality officer is to protect human health, the environment, also while taking into consideration sustainable development in this regard, Chairperson. There was also an issue of SAPI, whether SAPI had, we issued them a fine of 8 million, but the question was more on what SAPI doing, having some projects, community project in this regard. Chairperson, in our atmospheric emission license that we issue to SAPI, specifically when we talk about section 7.5 of the license, D, it talks about the what we call project Vulindlela to improve environmental performance and increase cellulose pulp production. This is a project that SAPI, in their presentation, have invested. I don't want to talk on behalf of SAPI, Chairperson, but I'll just give you a summary. Millions of rand towards communities to try and mitigate the air pollution that is coming from SAPI. Some of those projects are part of their what we call a postponement decision that was issued by National, Chairperson. So there are projects that are invested that are related to community development in this regard. Chairperson, there was a question of sugar canes. We are in a process whereby, Chairperson, we are trying to develop an inventory for all biomass burning, which include all sugar canes within the city. This also talks to what we call the Tongat Ulet facility. Facility was issued with a non-compliance notice. We also did a collective compliance and enforcement inspection. It was between eThekwini province and national in this regard. The reason I'm saying this, Chairperson, is that when it comes to non-compliance, we try to address it as a collectively between city, province, and national in this regard. So it's a collective decision. But for those that we require that we can then deal with them as the city internal without support, we do that. For those that are big enough, we also require support in this regard from a province and national. With regards to engine, Chairperson, monitoring, Our NGO CBO chairperson will be are well aware that the city within the South Durban Basin, we were doing what we call passive monitoring. So we ran out, I need to be honest with this one, Chep, we ran out of what we call passive sample surplus, and we brought it to the attention of our NGO in one of our engagement meetings. We even indicate that we are currently in a procurement process to procure a new passive sample whereby we're going to co-locate or do what we call a joint project within the South Durban Basin or around Engine in this regard to do passive sampling monitoring. This is a joint venture, chairperson, between eThekwini and also Tshetsi. The passives are ready. We have initiated engagement. We'll be meeting on the 14th or 15th. We're just waiting for confirmation in this regard. There was also a question with regards to what are we doing with relocation of Engine. Chairperson, I think this one has to do mostly with planning. And as I've alluded in my presentation, that the South Durban Basin was planning was purely done in that regard. But as the air quality officer chairperson, I think the issue of relocation or planning, I can't give more or comment more in that regard, because all else I will just give information which won't be of accurate in this regard, chairperson. I think the planning department can engage much further in this regard. In terms of the just transition, chairperson, what we're doing as the city is not applicable to Engine or South Durban Basin alone in this regard. So what we do is that all our atmospheric emission license that we issue, we put conditions that all facilities, when they submit their emissions report, may it be annual in this regard, they must include all the greenhouse gases, so that we can also be able to monitor how is the city moving towards fulfilling the just transition in this regard, chairperson. And we are also having what we call the control fuel policy that we are developing, chairperson. And the reason for this policy is to try and move away from coal and try and make use of what we call green energy, chairperson. We had our stakeholder engagement last week, if I'm not mistaken. We had sits in the meeting, and all facilities, let me say industrial companies in this regard were presented, and we presented to them that this is the objective and goals of the city in terms of air pollution. We want to comply with the new National Ambient Air Quality Standard by 2025 and also 2030. This includes the WHO standard. So we're going to introduce a new policy, which is called the control fuel policy. And we're calling or advocating for all facilities within the eThekwini to move into cleaner technology, because come 2030, chairperson, this policy will be fully in effect. And we are expecting that all facilities within the eThekwini must adhere or comply with this control fuel policy, chairperson. There was also a question raised on what did we do during the 2020 explosion from Engine. What was the city response? Chairperson, the health unit received a call at approximately 7:14 in this regard. It was in the morning, chairperson, in regards to the explosion that had occurred on Engine refinery property, and which had several kilometers away in surrounding, which were at least several away communities, chairperson. Allow me to then give you some of the response that were done by the health unit. The health unit arrived on site at approximately 8 o'clock, and 2 officials joined the job in this regard on the Engine property. We saw 3 other officials from environmental health practitioners surveyed the surrounding communities for health impact created by the fire offsite. The thick black smoke initially experienced as a result of the fire was extinguished within approximately 1.5 an hour. It is understood that diesel escaped as a result of the ruptured diesel line. Constant communication was maintained within the health unit in the communities, as well as ambient air quality monitoring, checking the data from the monitoring station. The reason we're also putting an eye on the station, we're trying to check if or to monitor the trend of the data that our station is picking in this regard. The wind direction was southern westerly and confirmed by the meteorological station from one of our stations. The thermal lift results in all the smoke being evaluated above the bluff to a high level, and no impact was experienced at a ground level. Water cores were inspected and no impact was noted. Engine confirmed that water course was contained within the site. An examination of the ambient data in relation to the prior pollutants, sulfur dioxide, and also particulate matter in this regard, which is more of dust, chairperson, and benzene, revealed that no elevated concentration or accidents were experienced on Friday, 4 December 2020. The engine team were questioned as to other possible fuels within the reactor to the product of combustion, the quantity of fuel combusted, the sulfur content, and others in this regard. However, it is believed that this information has yet to be determined. And then further intervention in this regard, chairperson, were also communicated with engine. The investigation revealed that a lot of information yet to be determined, and based on the findings, and notice has been served to engine in this regard. So engine was given a notice by our department to do the following: appoint an external specialist engineering consultant to conduct a root cause analysis and submit a final report, which include integrated management of tanks, pipelines, and associated infrastructure, including the valves. The appointment of terms of reference to be done in consultation with the unit. So the reason that we say we need to be consulted, we didn't want a platform whereby it will be more of a bias. So we need to also be part of it. An atmospheric impact report to be done in terms of Section 30. Chairperson, Section 30 in this regard, as the city, we call upon province to intervene as it's province to trigger the Section 30 part of it. So every time we have Section 30, we engage with province. Appoint a suitable qualified toxicologist to conduct a toxicological assessment. This is required to determine exposure and potential health risk for workers and surrounding communities. Chairperson, the health unit, we tried to based on the notice that was served, to try and take this further to court, but I need to bring it to your attention that the matter was rolled out of court in this regard. So as the city chairperson, like I said before, I'm the city air quality officer, and I'm a designated EMI grade 1. It's upon my powers and responsibilities, chairperson, to serve the communities of eThekwini and to safeguard the environment and human health in this regard. So in a case whereby we have received any report from engine that give us exceedance or non-compliance, chairperson, I won't hesitate to issue a notice in this regard. We have done the same with SAPI, and it's mandated to us to safeguard the human health and the environment. Chairperson, I'm not sure if I have responded to all questions, but for those that I did not, if I can be reminded so that I can talk to them. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Patu. Jerome's hand has been up. Who is Jerome? This hand has been up for a long time. He must be tired now. Who is Jerome?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm Jerome Schoenberg. I'm from Wentworth, from the Wentworth Development Forum. That's a member of SETSI. And as Comrade Bobby spoke yesterday, we were part of the initial delegation with the Tata Madiba who set everything in motion. Greeting to you, Honorable Chair, and greeting to the honorable members. Thank you for the opportunity. And just to give a special acknowledgement to Honorable Singh, he's a homeboy and he really has our interests at heart, and we are warmed by his observation and his inputs. Thank you for those. Chair, I would like, with your indulgence and your permission, please, just to respond to a few of the things having witnessed the process. Firstly, to Madam Shirley's claims that the consultation between Engen and the community is quite extensive. Just to say that we note with concern that the Engen meets with the JC that's purportedly made up of representatives of community structures. That may be the case. What does not happen, however, is that the JC itself has never been into the community and held community consultations. And this came to a head, and Engen is well aware of it. They had protests from community members. It was widely covered on SABC News and ETV News, where the community, there were a few hundred people protesting outside Engen's gates, wanted the disbandment of the JC as it was not representative of the community. SETSI did not participate in that protest, but community members participated in that process. There's also an issue that's very painful for us, Honorable Chair. That's the fact that Engen laid charges against some community members. If my memory serves me correctly, it's 4 people who were charged following protests outside Engen's gates. And this matter is still in the High Court. They've interdicted these people. Now, if we are being open and transparent about consultation, why do we still have a legal process going on? And our fear is that, South Africa is signatory to international law accords. Does Petronas, who owns Engen, do they have a hidden agenda? Because if some, in terms of international law, is the impact of that, if a precedent is set here where a facility which is surrounded by community cease to be protested against, does Petronas have a precedent in another country? Because, to us, this is a relatively simple matter. This is a matter that can be settled out of court, yet it's been dragging on for a couple of years now. So is there a hidden agenda there? And it will be good if Engen and Madam Shirley can please explain that. Then, with regards to the city, Honorable Chair, if I can just make a brief analogy. So we SETSI wrote to PATU, to the city, asking for consultation and asking for a meeting regarding the pollution with direct effect of the flaring, to have a meeting, for them to call Engen to a meeting and to have us present at that meeting. To us, that is direct consultation. Now, the response that we received was so bad. PATU copied and pasted excerpts from correspondence that Engen had sent to them. Didn't even change the font or the font size of this, just copied and pasted it, asking us to go to the JC. And in PATU's response earlier, you also heard him saying that they encouraged SETSI to go to the JC. Now, Engen is not a self-regulatory body. The city is the custodian of the regulations. We are citizens of the city. If we go to SAPS, and I go and my analogy is that I go and report a house break into SAPS, SAPS can't send me to my neighborhood watch to go and report the house breaking. SAPS has to attend to the crime that's been committed. So if Engen is infringing on the rights of the people in terms of our constitution and the city bylaws that emanate therefrom, it is the city that has to respond, and they can't abdicate that responsibility. These are the things that are happening at the moment, Chair. There was also, in Comrade Bobby's presentation, one of the concerns was that there is no online monitoring system, and we've been exposed to institutions like Transnet who have created these platforms where you can go live onto the web and see what each station is monitoring. The city has not gone to that stage. And when we call for a moratorium, Honorable Chair will understand that we're saying if you don't know what's being put into the atmosphere because you now have defective air monitoring equipment, which we are saying is impacting on the health of people because we receive the complaints, isn't that justification for a moratorium, Honorable Chair? Thank you so much, Chair. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Jerome. Honorable members, I don't want us to have an extreme dialogue, respecting that we took you out of your schedules. May I, before I see Shirley's hand is up, first, before that, Shirley, let me invite honorable members to do last follow-up questions, and then we'll come back to the presenters for a response and we close. Honorable Singh, you'll be the first. Are there any other takers, honorable members? Honorable Mbata, you'll be the second.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Chair, I think, this session can continue until the cows come home, as we would say, with questions, counter accusations, etc. But I just get a sense here from yesterday to today, and it's just an hypothesis. And maybe it's something that needs to be dispelled when we convene a meeting as a portfolio committee. Because I believe our role now, seeing that people are talking past each other, like you said and I said earlier on, is probably in facilitating inclusive communication. So all parties come to the table in good faith and talk about the issues affecting that community. And then this has not happened from what, I see from the different sides, one countering the other. But there's no doubt that from what I hear, the city has been lax in its responsibility to take care of the citizens in that particular area. And the fact that there's an admission that the monitoring stations are not working, and in 3 years' time we'll get them repaired, etc. I mean, one can ask about why these stations have deteriorated to the extent that they have been, but I don't think we're going to get answers now. And perhaps we would need our minister and the political head of environment in KZN and the political head of Tigwini, like we did in 1998, to come together with all of us so that we can have an intervention from that level and see how we take matters forward. And finally, Chair, the thing is here, SETC, as far as I know, have been in existence for a number of years. And every time, we heard about environmental issues in the Durban South Basin, SETC was the organization that came up first. So I can't see them being excluded from any discussions impacting the people in that community. So my suggestion would be that we will have to, probably as a committee, draw up a report and get our minister involved at the national level and then see how we take this matter forward so we can talk to each other and not past each other and come with some kind of a lasting solution to the problems that beset the people in that community. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Singh. Honorable Mbata, on the way forward, followed by Honorable Mchunu.
Thank you, Chairperson. You know, I'm very much disappointed on both the Engine and eThekwini municipality, because you see that they haven't touched the issues that really affected the community. Then, because when Engine speaks, she speaks of the 4 people, the first ones that were running there, but she doesn't speak of the rest of the community that and a high number that were infected and affected. She didn't say anything. And also on the compensation, remember, when you look at the OSH Act, it says the employer must protect the employees and the visitors inside the premises of the employer and the nearby community members. So it still lies with Engine to make sure that those community members have been followed and have been assisted. My worry is that there are some, this happened when, I think it's 2019, if I'm not mistaken, and there was no first medical report, there was no second medical report that was submitted to the Compensation Commissioner. And that report is very, very important, because after sometimes, if a person still feel affected and there's complications, in order for that person to be compensated, they first look at the first medical report and the second medical report, of which if it's not there, what's going to happen to those people? And they are not being clear on what they have done to those community members. It seems as if they don't care, including the issue of the city. Because in the report of the city, I'm happy because you're saying you're an EMI and you know the rules and procedures. But in your report, you gave us a good report that everything is going according to the plan, until the NGOs told us that no, not all your equipment is working correctly. Because you should have given us the full report to say, this is where I'm struggling, this is the equipment I have, this is the plan, because you have a plan that you will be procuring. It's not a problem if you tell us the truth, but don't tell us a good report that is not good. It's only good in paper. Because I feel that as a city, you're failing these people big time. And it's very painful because there is a school next to that engine. What about those learners, young learners who are there on daily basis and who are inhalating this thing? And there was from both Engine and eThekwini, there were no health officials that were sent there. Remember, if it's like that, they need to send the people who are going to check, examine the community members and the learners there, including the educators, to check if they haven't been affected. And it's not a once-off thing. There must be a follow-up medical examination of these people. It has never happened. So I think really, I don't know, because really, if I was one of these people, I was going to look for an attorney, a very strong attorney who will take these people, both the city and the Engine, to court to make sure that they are forced to compensate these people. They are not telling us about the approved inspection authority report. They are not telling us about any report. It's just that they are here to tell us, to give us the good part, but yet there is a bad part underneath. And I feel that as a portfolio committee, we need to do something about this thing, this issue. It's been long. We went there, we saw everything that has happened. Even now, we are still talking about this thing. How long are we going to sit here and talk about this thing? Yet our own people are suffering down there. It needs to be corrected as soon as possible, as honorable members. We can't take it anymore. And I feel also that the national department needs to make sure that they intervene here, because really, it's very long. When did you go there? It's a long time now. I think my grandchild is now a big boy. By that time, he was a small boy. We can't really take this. And the way forward is that the national department must intervene. Also, the Department of Health also must intervene, because for those children at school, they should send the school health nurses, school health team, and then for the community, they should send the health team that is going to do a proper examination of all those people to check exactly what is the impact and effect on the health of those community members. And also the issue of the houses and the structures that were not fixed. I think Engine must be forced also to fix those structures as soon as possible, because it's part and parcel of their duty and the role as the employer or as the owner of Engine, of which where the hazard emanated from them that affected those people. Otherwise, if there was no such incident, these people were still going to be sitting in their homes, sitting in their flats without any problem. But the issue of the air quality monitoring is a key issue in that area, and it needs to be corrected as soon as possible. Thank you, Chair.
Siyabonga Mambatha. Mamcunu.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you. In terms of way forward, Chairperson, because what we've been listening to is not just satisfactory. Let me first support Honorable Mbatha that we need the minister to coordinate and find a way of resolving this matter, working with the MEC of ATIA, working with the mayor, the MMC, or that is responsible for that committee, and also us as portfolio committee members, we need to get involved and get closer to this matter and try to resolve this matter. And the second part that worries Honorable Chairperson that worries me a lot on the part of Engine. As I had said in my initial presentation, it's exactly what they presented to us when we came for the visit, and they've presented it again. They don't present what are the challenges that are faced by the communities. How do they respond to those challenges? How do they deal with the issues of compensation, as Honorable Mbatha was referring to? Because those were the issues that were raised even at that time. It then says to us, we need to get closer to this matter so that we can find a permanent solution on this one. So my challenge with Engine is that can they be honest and give us and give a minister and the MEC, the mayors, the honest report on what is it happening on the ground. The third part, Honorable Chairperson, is the issue of the rezoning of the area. I think we do need the municipality to look at that. What is it? What in terms of the zoning, the actual zoning, what was that area for? Because if that area was for the residential area and then was then handed over to an industry, which then becomes an industrial area, I don't know how it happened way back when it happened, because they've been existing there for quite some time. If that was done, in terms of the spatial planning, what is the plan that needs to be involved. I think the municipality needs to take us on board on that one, and also confirm if that area was rezoned. After rezoning, because you can't have an industrial area and at the same time have the residential area within. There are parameters that needs to be followed and needs to be taken care of. What happened to all those issues? Were they taken care of? If they were not, what is it? What are the current measures that they are now considering as the municipality, which would be very important for them to do that, so that we are all sure of that particular area, because that will then take us to the recommendations of the NGOs. But we can't go straight to the recommendations when we don't have these matters and these issues being handled in a formal way. And the stakeholder engagements, the stakeholder debates and all those things, we have to take them, Honorable Chairperson. We have to force now a particular section. So either it's ETIA that is supposed to be leading that in terms of the province, so that they coordinate all the stakeholders so that we resolve those matters. Because at the moment, if we leave it with Engine to just coordinate the stakeholders, it seems like they are not getting well, or getting their machinery well oiled, and they are likely to leave others outside if they continue like that. So my suggestion will be the ETIA office of environment in KZN, because there is a fully fledged unit there that is the environmental part of the department, takes responsibility now in terms of the officials coordinating and doing everything and engaging and reporting to the MEC, because I don't know if the MEC was really taken on board and know and understand what is it that is going on in that particular area. So we need that particular engagement, Chairperson, so that we can find a balance on this one. And lastly, Chairperson, is to stress that we do need these political heads to take this matter on board, have a discussion and see what is it that can be done as a way forward, rather than leaving the matter like that. But I'm still stressed, Chairperson, Engine must prepare another report, not the one that was presented that time. Even I was looking at the pictures, Chairperson, the pictures that they are presenting now of those students or those that were assisted, it's the same pictures that they gave us a long time ago. So we need to really be honest when it comes to these presentations, so that we as the portfolio committee that are doing the oversight over these issues, we are able to take decisions given the history of the engagements and the matter being shown, the importance that it has. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kunu. Thank you very much, honorable members. Thank you all to the presenters. And this is how we summarize these deliberations. Now, Tilega.
Yes, Chair.
I know that the House Chairperson will not approve our visit to eThekwini. Am I right?
Correct, Chair.
Fine. Honorable members, I want to lobby you individually I propose that on the 29th of March, each one of us must fly ourselves to KwaZulu-Natal, to Wentworth.
Yeah.
The 29th of
Chairperson,
March. Who is that?
Chairperson, it's Easter weekend. Sorry, it's Honorable
holiday.
Weber.
Oh,
It's Easter weekend.
I'm sorry. I just became too eager. What's the week before that, Honorable Weber?
The 22nd.
The 22nd.
It's the day after Heritage, Human Rights Day.
We're debating that week. On the week of the 20th, all of us are expected to be in Parliament, remember?
Yeah, and then the 21 is public holiday, and then we have the 22nd is the Friday.
The sooner the better.
Yeah.
I lobby each one of the honorable members, Honorable Singh, Honorable Weber, Honorable Bryant, Honorable Mkunu, Honorable Dlamini, Honorable Gancho, Honorable Mbata, all members of this committee, to fly ourselves to KwaZulu-Natal, to Wentworth. I am going to write an official letter today to the MEC of Environment in KwaZulu-Natal to be in that meeting. I am going to write an official letter to the mayor of eThekwini to be in that meeting in line with the instruction that has been issued by a letter sent to him by the minister to take appropriate measures against Engen. We can't discuss this matter from 2019 upon our arrival to 2024. On our departure, we're still engaging on the same issue. We must never allow ourselves to be reduced to a portfolio committee that does not bite. If it means we must hurt someone, let someone be hurt in the interests of the majority. I lobby that we go there on the 22nd, have a public meeting with all the affected stakeholders. This includes Engen. If it means your CEO is somewhere abroad, they must come back. Mayor of eThekwini, he must be there. And all his advisors, including Patu, and that lady who came in and left, Setsia, and all your people must be there. The office of the MEC and ETTIA, I don't know how do you call it, and the communities of Wentworth and the affected areas. This does not stop us as a portfolio committee from making a recommendation or taking a decision. But because we are people who are charged with the responsibility to make laws, we apply what we call odi alteram partem. So all sides of the story must be heard before a decision is taken or arrived at. Now, we don't want to assume that you are also representing TB and not representing Singh and not representing the other. In that meeting, all stakeholders must be there and a decision will emerge out of there on how best do we get to the bottom of this problem. These stories of ambient air quality monitoring systems that are operational and they are not presented until they are raised in 16, and then there's 6, then there's 5 that is operational, all of that will be clarified in the meeting. Engen must prepare us a proper report, a report that speaks about the interventions that you have provided to this community after the explosions, it being in 1970, it being in 2019, it being in 2021, and all of that. Prepare us that report. And if it's not true, that community will tell you in that meeting that it is not true. The 300 houses that have been raised as a concern from the South Durban Community Alliance must also be there so that they are able to tell us in the presence of the leadership that these people have never. It's very disappointing we are told that 300 people have been affected, and Engine tells us about an ambulance that took 4 people. It defies logic. There's a problem there. Now, it tells you that you chose who you want to speak to. Now, I asked the question about, do you have consistent engagements at eThekwini with the community there? You said you have a forum. For all we know, that forum could be your friends. Now, we want a session where all affected parties come and register their dissatisfactions and make recommendations on what needs to happen. And I must emphasize that it is not that we are unable to take a decision as a committee, but we have invited people and some could not come for various reasons. But we are giving them enough time, honorable members, now between now and the 22nd, I think, honorable member, to go to Wentworth, including the management of all these other institutions. Let's meet there so that we are able to take a decision that does not compromise anyone, a decision that is inclusive, a decision that helps everybody in terms of protection of the environment, a decision that helps everyone in ensuring that the National Environmental Management and Air Quality Acts are complied with. That is how we conclude this matter. Honorable Singh?
No, Chair, I fully concur with your recommendations, but I would like to include, maybe it was an omission, that we invite our minister or her deputy minister to that meeting as well. So we have the heads of all 3 spheres of government present. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Singh. Gift, are you here? Gift is not here. Leon, Nicholas?
I'm here, Chair. I've noted what Honorable Singh just suggested, and we'll
Yes.
await the invite and I'll relay to Minister.
It's not only a recommendation, it's now a decision, Mr. Leontinis.
Noted, Chair.
Yes, that the minister or a deputy minister, even if it means the DG must be there, everybody must just be there. Let's meet there on the 22nd, arrive at a decision that will help this community. Shirley, I see your hand is up.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. I thought it's important to respond to just few issues that were raised by members. The first issue is regarding the presentation, where Honorable member is indicating that this presentation is the same presentation that was done when the committee visited the refinery. What I tried to do in this presentation is to demonstrate trends. So I did start with the same, with some previous years, and it went until 2023. The format in terms of the presentation of the results may be the same, but the data from 2021, 2022, 23 is new data. So this information is not the same. The issue around the pictures that were shown, where Honorable Member is indicating that these are the same pictures that we showed, those ladies, young ladies that we showed there were matriculants of 2023. So this is not the same presentation. We tried to respond in a manner that will enable the portfolio committee to see the trends in terms of the impact of the interventions that we have put in place. And then the issue around Mr. Jerome raised the issue about the community members where there was an interdict. We have a duty as the employer, Honorable Chair, to keep our employees safe at all times, as well as to protect our assets. The individuals who were interdicted were some of those who were throwing stones at the trucks that were driving in Tara Road. some of our employees were threatened. So as a responsible employer, Honorable Chair, we need to make sure that our employees are safe at all times, and hence there was that interdict. It is unfortunate as well that the groups in terms of the JC, that they have not consulted with the community, as per what Mr. Jerome indicated. So it's something that we will raise in the next community engagement. And finally, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, Engen always wants to comply with the requirements and the laws of the countries where we operate. In some cases, when there are no standards or no laws, we do tend to borrow from developed countries. We believe in terms of science-based information, science-based decision-making, even in terms of us putting interventions in place. We comply with all the legislation. The National Air Quality Act has many provisions, Honorable Chair, in terms of how to make sure that the air quality of our country is not harmful to the health and well-being of the residents of this country and people visiting it. We in Durban South, as indicated, the ambient air quality standards has been set and is a national standard, and the basin has not been declared a priority area. This means that according to the standards that have been set, the ambient air quality in Durban South is not impacting the health and well-being of the residents. So that's the ambient air quality. The emission standards that are for listed activities, we comply with those. There are many provisions that have been catered for in the Air Quality Act, Honorable Chair, and we will always strive to comply with those as an organization. I thank you.
Shirley, perhaps it's because you're not a member of parliament, you wouldn't know what a summary means. We did a summary and we have charted a way forward. Because what you are speaking to still does not respond to the questions that have been raised here. Compliance should not only be used as a legal term. And we are saying we're coming down to get to the bottom of facts and arrive at a proper determination. That is how the committee resolves. So I don't want us to, because if we give another person is going to raise a different issue from what you are saying and all that. So we have a date. We will write a letter, Chileka and Tlant. We'll come to Engen Refinery. We'll meet the communities. The minister or the deputy minister and probably the DG or whoever other responsible DDG will be there. Engen will be there. eThekwini will be there. Satsia will be there. Etia will be there. The community will be there. And then we'll arrive at the proper determination. That is how we close this matter, honorable members. I don't think allowing any other discussion beyond this is going to bring any new information. Can I then request that we all lower our hands and close this meeting?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Agreed.
Thank you very much, honorables. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much. And the meeting.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Well done on a good meeting.
It gives us hope. Gives us hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Thank you. Bye.